Welcome back to the channel, where we break down the newest twists, turns, and secrets from days of our lives. In today's video, we're diving into the emotional exit of Doug Williams III and the stunning return of Susan Banks. Plus, we'll explore courtroom drama, family betrayals, and the whispers of a plot that could take down two of Salem's most powerful men. Let's get into it. Friday, July 25 delivers a poignant and unforgettable moment in Salem as Doug Williams III takes his final bow. Peyton Meyer's exit as Doug marks the end of a turbulent chapter, one riddled with dangerous choices, broken trust, and desperate attempts to make things right. After Holly Jonas and Ariana Horton were safely rescued from the terrifying kidnapping incident, Salem's residents turned their anger and confusion toward one man, Doug. His reckless involvement in an illegal loan shark operation didn't just risk his own future, it pulled two innocent girls into a life-threatening situation. And now, the consequences are staring him in the face. In an emotionally charged confrontation, Holly and Ariana lash out, delivering hard truths that hit Doug like a freight train. They demand to know why he dragged them into such chaos. His silence says everything, he has no excuse. Only regret. With nowhere left to hide and guilt eating away at him, Doug finally chooses to follow through on the promise he made to Tate Black. He packs his things, determined to disappear from Salem, hoping his absence will help heal the wounds he caused. Before his departure, Doug seeks out Julie Williams, his grandmother and the one person whose disappointment hurts the most. In a quiet, heart-wrenching scene, Doug offers a sincere apology. He expresses remorse for tarnishing the family name and putting her through emotional agony. Julie, torn between love and disappointment, forgives him, not because he deserves it, but because she believes people can change. Their farewell is layered with pain, love, and the lingering hope that Doug's exit won't be the end of his story, but rather the beginning of redemption. As Doug boards a bus and leaves Salem behind, viewers are left with one haunting question. Is this truly a young man seeking forgiveness, or simply a troubled soul running from a trail of destruction? While Salem mourns one goodbye, it barely has time to catch its breath before another familiar figure re-emerges. Someone whose presence always guarantees the unexpected. Stacy Haiduk returns as Susan Banks, and her timing couldn't be more mysterious. Known for her eccentric behavior, wide eyes, and uncanny intuition, Susan is far more than comic relief. Beneath her quirky exterior lies a sharp instinct and a supernatural sensitivity that has helped unravel some of Salem's deepest secrets in the past. This time, Susan isn't here for pleasantries. She's here with a purpose, to help her grandson Johnny DiMera as he faces the fight of his life in a courtroom drama that's threatening to tear the DiMera family apart. But what does help look like in Susan's world? According to insider spoilers, Susan believes she's been called back by a force she doesn't fully understand, something spiritual, perhaps even divine. She begins receiving visions, fragmented images, voices in dreams, symbols that point to Johnny's innocence, and to Marlena's bizarre collapse as more than just a medical emergency. Susan's intuition may hold a key to unraveling the mystery surrounding the trial. Or, as some residents fear, she may complicate matters further. Nevertheless, her arrival adds a wild new element to an already combustible situation. As she reconnects with Johnny, expect the unexpected, from cryptic premonitions to spontaneous declarations that may change the direction of the case. One thing is certain. When Susan Banks is in Salem, logic takes a back seat, and fate takes the wheel. Tensions are already running high as Johnny DiMera's trial finally begins. The courtroom is packed. Emotions are volatile. Every movement is scrutinized. Carole Foreman enters the canvas as Judge Dabney, bringing a stern, no-nonsense presence to the bench. Her sharp gavel signals that this won't be a simple trial, it'll be a battle. Johnny sits at the defendant's table, stoic but visibly rattled. Opposite him is Rachel Black, his young relative, heartbroken and nervous, who must testify against him. The emotional weight of her role in the case is evident. Her hands tremble, her voice quivers, and behind her eyes is a storm of guilt and confusion. But just as the testimony begins, something shocking happens. Marlena Evans collapses. Gasps ripple through the room. Belle Black screams her mother's name. The judge calls for an emergency recess as medical teams rush in. All proceedings halt. Marlena is unresponsive. Her pulse is weak. Panic sets in. She's rushed to the hospital, leaving the entire courtroom stunned and shaken. Initial tests come back inconclusive. Her previous health screenings showed no red flags. No pre-existing conditions. Nothing to suggest she was at risk of collapsing. Doctors are baffled. But something darker may be at play. In the days that follow, Marlena begins slipping in and out of consciousness, muttering strange names and phrases. Stefano, Queen of the Night, secrets, shadows. Are these hallucinations? Or buried memories resurfacing? E.J. DiMera sees an opportunity. He insists Marlena be placed under hypnosis, believing that the answer to both her collapse and Johnny's case lies in her mind. Meanwhile, Rachel struggles with unbearable guilt. The pressure of her testimony and Marlena's collapse are too much for her young heart to carry. Her internal conflict could lead to a crucial moment in court, one that may either save or doom Johnny. The courtroom is no longer just a stage for justice, it has become the epicenter of a growing storm. Between Marlena's mysterious medical crisis and Rachel's emotional unraveling, Salem is bracing for a verdict that may never come. Far from the chaos of the courtroom, a new kind of storm is brewing, one laced not with public spectacle, but with quiet manipulation. Melinda Trask, Salem's iron-fisted DA, isn't letting the trial of Johnny DiMera be her only focus. She has her sights set on another fragile situation, Sophia Choi, the young woman who shocked everyone by revealing she gave birth to Tate Black's baby and secretly placed the child with an adoptive couple. Sophia is drowning, vilified in the press, rejected by Tate, and cornered by judgmental whispers. She turns to the only person willing to help her navigate the fallout. But Melinda doesn't offer help out of compassion. She offers strategy, cold, calculated, and surgical. Melinda presents Sophia with a chilling proposition: rewrite the narrative. Reframe the story. Stop being the villain and start becoming the misunderstood heroine. A girl who panicked. A mother who thought she was doing what was best. Not reckless, just scared. Not cruel, just broken. Sophia, desperate to regain any shred of public dignity, hesitates. But the temptation of redemption, of finally being seen as human again, is too strong. They begin crafting the story like a legal script. Every line rehearsed, every detail sharpened, every emotion choreographed. And while Melinda sees this as another tool in her growing arsenal of influence, Sophia begins to lose herself in the performance. But there's a deeper risk here. The more Sophia bends the truth, the more she becomes a prisoner to it. And if the real story ever comes to light, if the truth about that safe haven box and Javi Hernandez's involvement is ever exposed, everything could come crashing down. So the question remains, can Sophia keep the mask on long enough to survive? Or will Melinda's plan destroy the very person it was meant to protect? Elsewhere, in the stately but shadowed halls of the DiMera mansion, a different game is unfolding, one that involves strategy, patience, and quiet power moves. Tony DiMera, the most refined and calculating of the DiMera clan, is steering clear of EJ's loud tactics and Stefan's chaotic schemes. Instead, he's crafting something far more subtle, and potentially far more dangerous. He's summoned Gabi Hernandez for a private meeting. No press, no lawyers, just two powerful minds behind closed doors. Their conversation starts civil, but it doesn't take long for the true purpose to surface. Tony lays it out clearly. He wants to neutralize the growing influence of Xander Kyriakis and Philip Kyriakis. Two wild cards who have recently become too bold, too visible, and too disruptive to the Demera family's long-term vision. He offers Gabi something enticing. A deal, one that, if successful, could restore her position in the corporate power structure and solidify her control in the Demera world. Gabi listens, intrigued. She's no stranger to high-risk, high-reward plays. But even she recognizes that aligning with Tony means walking a tightrope. His calm demeanor conceals a mind that never forgets a betrayal and always demands something in return. Still, the opportunity is too good to ignore. With her future uncertain and her ambitions still burning, Gabi leans in. Together, they begin to discuss leverage, vulnerabilities, and tactics, planting the seeds of a takedown that could explode in weeks, or even days. But make no mistake, this alliance is built on shifting sand. And in Salem, powerful partnerships have a way of becoming deadly rivalries. Friday, July 25th is shaping up to be a seismic day in Salem. A farewell filled with regret. A return clouded in mystery. A collapse that no one saw coming. Doug's departure marks the end of one chapter, but the return of Susan Banks signals that an entirely new story is about to begin. Will Johnny survive his trial? What's really happening to Marlena? And who will end up on the losing side of the Demera Kuriakis conflict? Days of Our Lives is delivering emotional punches, legal drama, and supernatural tension all at once, and this is only the beginning. If you're as hooked on the drama as we are, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single update from Days of Our Lives. Comment below, what do you think Susan's return means? And are you sad to see Doug go? Thanks for watching, and remember, in Salem, no goodbye is ever final, and no secret stays buried forever.